How special can the Clemson Tigers 2023 defense be? I'll let safety Andrew Mukuba tell you next on the Locked On Clemson Podcast.
You are Locked On Clemson, your daily podcast on the Clemson Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Clemson family? Welcome back to the Locked On Clemson Podcast, your daily podcast covering your Clemson Tigers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find and follow me on Twitter at DP_NFL. I'm a national scout over with the Draft Network, as well as part of the co-host team of the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast. And guys, thank y'all for making Locked On Clemson your first listen today and every day, Monday through Friday, whenever I drop these episodes. You're not just my Clemson Tiger family, but you are my every single dayers, and I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all, man. But we have a special guest on today's show. First of all, we the race for Mike Matthews when we hit on the prowl, and we're talking about the recruiting. Can Clemson close the gap with the Tennessee Volunteers? Stock up for former Clemson Tiger all-time rusher in Travis Etienne with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to talk about that on segment 2. But to start the show, we have Andrew Mukuba, star safety from your Clemson Tigers. Let's get into my discussion with Andrew Mukuba right now. On today's show, I have star safety from part of the star safety duo from your Clemson Tigers, Andrew Mukuba. Drew, what's going on, brother?
Man, what's up, man? Nothing much, man. Just chilling on this good 4th of July, man.
For sure. I appreciate you joining me and the Clemson family on the show, man. Taking some time out of your holiday to talk some ball with us, brother.
Nah, absolutely, man. Appreciate you having me on here.
Hey, for sure. First off, man, as you saw in the pre-recording, I have a son myself. It looks like I saw that you and your girl about to have a little boy, man. Congratulations. How's your mindset once you knew, first of all, once you knew it was a boy, once that blue, all that stuff came about, how did your mindset change, man? What was it like for you?
Once I seen that blue, man, I was excited because I've always wanted a boy. So once I seen that, I knew it was go time because it's gonna be like my little twin, like my mini me. So I was excited about that. But as everything happened, whenever I got the news and everything, my whole mindset changed. Some people might look at it as a bad thing. I'm still young, but for me, like I just use that as more motivation to keep going. So I think about them every day. When I go out work out or when I do something, I just think about them go harder. So it was really a blessing. I feel like that's something I needed for me with everything I've been through. So I just use it as motivation, to be honest. Knowing that I got a responsibility now, so I got to go even harder than I was before.
Nah, for sure. Anything with, especially as dads, man, kids, especially at first, it's your first one, right?
Yeah, my first one.
Oh, yeah. That first one, bro, I'm telling you, it changes your entire mindset. I can tell you from personal experience, I always felt like I was a hungry individual, but the moment, my wife brought that test in and surprised me, you know what I mean? And then we had the whole gender reveal and found out I was having my first child would be my son. Yeah, the hunger, like it definitely went to a different level and it pushed me to a different point. I expect the same for you, man. So embrace it, man. Be there for her. She going all the cravings, all that type of stuff, man. just don't question it. Don't even ask no questions. Just whatever you need, babe. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? But,
I got you.
Man, after the spring and and everything, and we're getting through the summer, man. How are you feeling heading into fall camp?
Man, I feel amazing, man. To be honest with you, it's probably the best I done felt. As far as like health wise, mindset, and just everything that come with it, it's the best I've ever felt. And I done put on weight. I had a good spring, so I'm gonna just pick up from there where I left off in the spring, where I was doing really good, and just move on to fall camp with it.
You said you put on some weight. How much did you add?
I done add like 12 pounds.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Nah, so okay, you're done filled up out on this. I feel you, man. So I mean, for a lot of times, most people, especially with players that are athletic, especially defensive backs, adding weight sometimes could be a little harder for them. Was that easier for you to add weight and still keep your athleticism?
Yeah, it wasn't as hard. With me, I feel like one thing I really struggled on since I've been here was, eating right. And, once I started doing all that stuff, the right things, putting the right things in my body, just things like that, I started seeing improvement. I see my body change, I can tell how I'm playing, how I'm moving. I feel a lot better. So it wasn't as hard, putting on the right weight.
For sure. So, man, like the 2023 season, 2022, you guys still was able, you didn't have the season that most expected. It was some ups and downs, but you finished out yet again as the ACC champions. For you, what's like, especially with going into the second year with defensive coordinator Wes Goodwin, what's the difference heading into that second year of his system?
It should be. I feel like it should be different. Because last year was his first year. Play calling, just things like that. And I can understand that. It's his first time doing this, and how games be. Sometimes it might be moments where the game is too big, and sometimes it might be times where you're not really sure. But I feel like going into his second year, I feel like I seen it throughout the whole spring. He's built more confidence. He's trusted more of his players, and I feel like. This gonna be the year where he do what he's supposed to do, and then the defense do what they're supposed to do, and get back on top because Clemson's known to have one of the best defense in the country. So I look forward to seeing that, and he's gonna be the guy to lead us the right direction for that, and I can't wait to see that.
No, for sure, and piggybacking off of that, man, how special can this 2023 defense be, man? Because you guys have studs at every level of the defense, and there's some other good college defenses, but everybody can't say, man, we got 2-star safeties, we got great corners, legit. They have not even Barrett Carter and Jeremiah Trotter, the two best linebackers in college football, and they're on the same team, right? And then the load of talent y'all got on the defensive line, Rook, Tyler Davis, Xavier Thomas, all those boys, man. How special could this defense be in 2023?
The defense gonna be really special because I feel like we got experience on every position, whether that's the D line. Obviously, like you said, we got two best linebackers in the country, and we got one of the top corners in the in college football. And obviously, me and RJ in the back end and Jalen Phillips. So it's gonna be, our defense gonna be pretty good, man. I really like where we at, because everything start out front, and I feel like we got the best D line in the country. So. It should be exciting, man. I feel like we should be one of the top defenses when it's all said and done. And we got, like you said, we got studs everywhere. So it's gonna be fun to see. But we all got to put it together. Everybody got to do their job for everything to be the right way, to be executed the right way. So it should be fun, man. It should be fun, and seeing everybody out there do what they're supposed to do.
No, for sure. How close are you and your safety teammate RJ Mickens, and how does that impact your communication, your comfortability, everything on the field?
Man, it's a Texas connection. Me and RJ, that's my dog, man. I be with RJ all the time, man. RJ is one of them guys you would like to keep around because he's just gonna make you laugh all the time. Even when you mad, you gotta have RJ around. So me and RJ connection is pretty dope, man. Me and him clicked on as soon as I first got on campus. He helped me up a lot in the film room, on the field, and just things like that. And ever since then, we just been rocking, man. So I'm excited for RJ, man. He finally get what he deserved and the buzz that he deserved, man. Because RJ can go out there and play. People don't realize that, but RJ is a ball player, and I'm excited to see what he can do this year.
I watched the tape, when I was studying you, and he kept popping up on tape, and I'm like, man, like RJ's like, and I thought of myself. I'm like, people don't talk about RJ a lot, you know what I mean? And I get it. It's a lot of defenders on your team with NFL draft buzz and everything else, but I'm like, man, RJ Mickens that's a beast back there, man. So I mean, for you, and one of the biggest, I say feathers in the cap for you, man. You're so versatile, bro. Like you play free safety, they put you in some strong, you in the nickel, you down in the box and +1. Like, and this is something you've been doing, since getting there at Clemson, even with two different defensive coordinators. What does that, for your mental process, man? How are you able to wear so many hats, bro? Like you do so many different things for this defense. So the calls, the checks, the assignments, how do you maintain all that from a mental standpoint?
You just gotta know what you're doing, and I was my second year, I didn't learn everything I needed to learn. I've been in the film room, I feel like I can be a coach out there on the defense because I know I'm aware of what everybody's doing. So it ain't really as hard, me playing a different position because I'm already aware of what they're doing. I know what they're doing. So it wasn't hard, just just being out there, being aware of the game, being aware of the situation, what's really going on, you know, reading the play for it happen, just being able to do that and just being my athletic, being so athletic, that kind of gives me opportunity to play anywhere, like you said. You can put me whether at nickel, you can put me in what's your name, at strong safety, free safety. And last year I took a couple snaps at corner too. I don't know if people noticed that. I took a couple snaps at corner too. So I feel like, I'm just a ball player, man. I feel like I can do it all. So yeah, it's fun.
Not for sure. Is there any safety in the league or safeties that you just watch, you study and try to pick different pieces of their game to add to yours?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll probably say guys like Tyrann Mathieu, Buda Baker. Cause I'm only like 5'11". I wouldn't say guys like Derwin James at 6'3". Big dot, but I'm a small safety. I'm 5'11". Guys like Tyrann Mathieu, Buda Baker, guys like that. That's what guys I try to look at their game, see what they doing differently, and then just add it to my game and hope my game improve.
Nah, for sure. I love to hear that, man. Tell me, man, your pregame. What is your pregame go to in terms of song or playlist? What you like to listen to get hyped before the game?
Anything NBA YoungBoy, to be honest. Any song by NBA YoungBoy get me turned. So that's really why I listen to all pregames. YoungBoy.
Right.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Talk to me about your head ball coach, man. Dabo Swinney. I've seen him. I was at the ACC Media Day last year, so I saw him up close, personal. It feels like he never changes. That the smile, the laugh, the kind of lightheartedness, and everything that he brings to the press conferences. You see that a lot of times on the sideline, unless he has to get a little lit and frustrated with some things. But what is he like as a coach, man, on the field and even in the locker room, off the field?
One thing I realized about him is he a guy that likes to have fun. He try to make sure everybody's having fun. He's having fun. Because if you having fun, then you doing things right. Keeping everybody around you happy, smiles, and just things like that. But overall, man, he is a good, caring person, good coach. Obviously, coaching got two sides. On the coaching side, where they'll coach you hard and also love you hard, and the other side where they're just all about doing the right thing. But one thing I realized that with Coach Swinney, if you don't want to be on his bad side, then if you don't want to be in his bad side, you can't miss class, you can't give no effort, you can't just do things you're not supposed to do. That's the only time he would probably flip on you and snap on you like a coach supposed to, because he's trying to guide you the right way. But overall, the person you see on the social media, on TV, just things like that, that's what really is in person, and he's just a genuine, caring person, man.
Nah, for sure. You love to hear that, man. That what you see on TV, he's like that off the camera when nobody's around. He's the same dude. For you, man, I know that the defense, being special and helping carry the load for this team is big for y'all. But do you have any personal goals heading into the season?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely got a couple personal goals. I want to be first team all ACC. And, one of my main goals that I want to accomplish really hard before I leave college, get the Jim Thorpe Award, which is the best defensive back in college football. That's something I've been, had on my list since I was young. When I make it to college, this the award that I want to get. So that's one thing I'm shooting for sure.
Nah, I listen, and you already know that with your versatility and everything you bring to the table, your experience, that's obtainable, bro. That's attainable. You can definitely get there, man. I'm gonna ask you about three offensive players real quick, and we'll head out, and I'll transition to the next segment. But let's kick it off with your star running back, man. What you got two, Phil Maffa and Will Shipley, but Will Shipley is the guy that everybody knows, especially in the I'm a draft analyst as well. That everybody in the draft world knows as well. How tough is it? How tough is it defending him in practice, man? Because you watch the games, this dude's everywhere in the backfield. They throw the ball to him, zone runs between the tackles. What's it like dealing with him in practice every day?
Will Shipley, that's my locker buddy. His locker's right next to mine, But in practice, man, Will Shipley's a competitor. I tell you that, he don't care who you is, he going at you. And in practice, he, like you said, he's versatile. You can put him on slide. You can put him in the backfield. He can run the ball. He can run route, catch the ball. So it's hard to defend Will Shipley, but we also got two of the best linebackers. So it's always good to see them going at it, and it's just exciting because I like to see guys compete. And, that kind of gets me going too. I want to get it going and competing too. So it's always good to see, man. Will Shipley, he definitely going to be special. I feel like this year going to be the year for him. It's going to be a breakout year for him and what's the name, Phil Maffa. So I can't wait with the new offense and everything. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
Now I'm looking forward to the new offense because I watched that offense when I studied TCU this past draft, and Garrett Riley knows how to scheme things up and create some havoc space wise for the defense, man. Sticking with the offense, your sophomore, young wide receiver Antonio Williams, man. Like I watched this kid's tape. I did a segment on him a couple weeks ago. Talented dude, man. What's it like, watching him in practice, and what growth have you seen from him going from freshman to sophomore?
Man, to be honest with Antonio, when he first got there his freshman year, man, like I knew, because I play in the slot, because I usually go with the slot receiver. I go against the slot receivers all the time. And just going against him, like I knew his freshman, I knew he was going to be a guy that was going to help us, when the season get here. So Antonio, he really special. I feel like he still got a lot to grow. And I feel like once he gets his peak, man, he's going to be scary. And I feel like this year, he has improved a lot from what I've seen in the spring, and just his transition, his body, and just things like that, his focus. I feel like this gonna be the year for him also too, because man, that dude, he can play, and he a guy that makes me better in practice, because me and him go at it literally every day. Me and him trash talking and everything, man. He, like they say, iron sharpening iron. So he gets me better, I get him better, and this year gonna be a good year for him also too.
For sure. And then I'm gonna close it out with this. Your quarterback, man, and Dabo's had a great track record with quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Taj Boyd and Deshaun Watson. Tell us about Cade, man. What have you seen in terms of the growth from Cade going into his first year as a starter?
I feel like the one area of growth I've seen from Cade is his leadership. I feel like he's more vocal. He gonna speak up. It don't matter if you play defense or offense. He gonna speak up and let it be known. And just talking to guys, man. Overall, Cade, Cade is he from Austin, Texas, just like me. He a good person, but on the field, I can see, Cade can do everything. He can throw, he can run. So being able to use him in that way is gonna be exciting to see. Because I ain't gonna lie, I like Cade as a runner too. Because Cade got sneaky speed. He might not look fast, but like once he get a straightaway, you're not catching him. So I'm excited to see Cade under the new offense. Because I watched TCU too, so and how they ran the offense and everything. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do under that offense, and how far he gonna carry our team this year, because he's gonna be the one to do it for sure.
No, for sure. And like you talk about that speed, man, you see that's that track background, man. He was a track guy, and you see that he definitely can slide. Like people, I think that's the aspect of this offense I'm excited for. With Garrett Riley, he had Max Dugan last year. They ran the ball with him at times last year as well. And I think Cade's a much better athlete than Max is. So getting him in that zone read, getting him out on the perimeter, and really making these defensive linemen, these defensive ends have to account for him. It's all about playing 11, making you play 11 on 11. I know you've heard that phrase before as a defender. So Cade's one of those type of quarterbacks with his athleticism. Like you said, he can run, he can throw, he can do a lot of different things and create, man. So I'm excited to see what this offense and this defense look like. But guys, that's my sit down with my guy Andrew Mukuba, star safety of the safety duo for the Clemson Tigers, man. Drew, appreciate you joining us today, man.
Man, appreciate you having me on here, man.
Take your first swing at betting on Major League Baseball with FanDuel and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets back up to $200. You heard me correct, up to $200. That's right. Just $20. You bet just $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. It doesn't even matter, guys. There's $200 that you can spend betting on everything from the money line to the under overs and to who you think is going to hit the first home run. All on the app that is safe, secure, and super easy to use, guys. And I'm telling you right now, no stress, no mess. Plus, what's the best part is when you win your money, you win your bets, you get paid right away. You get paid instantly. It's your money, and you want it right then and right now. So what am I telling you? There's no better place to bet on all the MLB action than FanDuel, which is America's #1 sports book. Sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get up to $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel is the official partner of Major League Baseball. Eyes in the league, guys. We are talking about former Clemson Tiger running back Travis Etienne. Is his stock going up for the 2023 NFL season? Listen, we know, and if you don't know, you're about to know. Let me give you some insight on the career of Travis Etienne, 5'10", 205 at Clemson. Spent 4 years. Only 2 years he did not eclipse 1,000 yards, and that was his freshman year, or his first year, getting bulk of the carries in 2017. Only 764 rush yards from the season, only 107 attempts, right? And then in the 2020 during the COVID year, where they weren't even going to play football, whatever, and he had 923 rush yards, but still had 14 touchdowns. Even going back to this in 4 years. As a Clemson Tiger, Travis Etienne, 684 rush attempts, 4,956 rush yards, 7.2 yards per carry, 70 rushing touchdowns, 7 fumbles. This is a guy that could do it all, right? Like just the dynamic, explosive young man. And then you look at, all right, is this going to translate to the league? Is his game going to translate to the NFL? And in 2021, he after he was drafted, he got hurt. I can't remember if it was Achilles or he got hurt in camp, and he was out for the season. Well, it was kind of good for him because he got away from that Urban Meyer train wreck of a coaching situation in his first year that Trevor had to endure. Poor Trevor, he had to endure that, right? But with Travis Etienne stepping into this Doug Peterson-led offense, he 251 carries in his second year, essentially his rookie year, if you want to use the NBA term. The NBA will take a guy that Ben Simmons missed his whole rookie season, but was awarded Rookie of the Year, I think, the very next year because that was his first year. It's weird, but if you want to take it that way, this was his rookie season, 251 attempts, almost 1,300 yards, 1,291 yards rushing, over 5 yards a carry, 6 touchdowns, to 5 fumbles. So he's got to clean up those fumbles. You want to see more touchdowns from him, but he was just versatile for them, averaging over 3.1 yards after contact, right? Just his contact balance is good. He's not a physical or violent runner of any sort, but he does a good job in being able to put pressure on defenders where you got to make a clean shot, wrap them up. Because if you just take throwing your shoulder into his legs, he's got strong legs, a strong base, even if it's into his core and his midsection, he's able to absorb those hits and bounce off those tackle attempts and keep moving, right? As well as he's got a nice little straight arm, nice little stiff arm, kind of like the Heisman in a sense, right? He's got a nice little one. It's not Derrick Henry, right? But it's solid. It's solid. So I think, when you look at what he's going to be able to bring to the table for this Jaguars offense. I remember being at the combine, listening to his head coach, Doug Peterson, talk about the fact that, Coach Peterson said it made it simple. We have to, he believes in a multi-back system. And then what do? They drafted Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round of the 2023 NFL draft because he wants to use Etienne more in space. He even hinted at maybe some special team stuff like some punt returns, right? And when you have a player that is as dynamic as a Travis Etienne with the ball in his hand, especially in space, you want to find ways to get him the ball in space. That's just what it is. So I think when you look at the eyes of the league, man, and is his stock up? I think it is, and especially when the Jaguars added Calvin Ridley to this receiving core and drafting Brenton Strange and Anton Harrison on the offensive line. Trevor Lawrence is going to, once the offensive line is, I think as their starting left tackle, Cam Robinson is going to be out for the first, 4 to 6 weeks or something due to, PED suspension. So once they get the offensive line and their top 5 guys, there's 5 starters solidified and everything's, flowing and they have their chemistry and their level of comfort and comfortability is good, then great. Because what's going to happen is what's going to take place is we're going to see the offensive line mesh, which will give Trevor more time. Trevor's ability to throw the ball and his ability to run the ball as well as a 6'6", stallion out there, right? Galloping around the field when he does break contain, it's going to make Travis Etienne's job easier. I think Bigsby's going to make his job easier. Limit the carries, limit the level of brutality and physicality his body is going to have to face running between the tackles in the NFL, right? Against NFL defenses. And I expect that he's still going to have a big season. And I think they are going to split carries, but I think he's going to out-touch Tank Bigsby, mainly because of his ability in space and his ability as a receiver as he has developed since his time in Clemson. So that's all. That's what I would say, guys. Is the stock up for Travis Etienne? I think it is. I think Travis Etienne is going to have a nice sophomore year going into his third year in the league, his second year actually being healthy enough to play. So, I think his stock is up, guys. But you want to talk about stocks? On the prowl, Clemson stock is a little, by the predictions on one.com, 5-star athlete Mike Matthews. Clemson's got a big gap to close versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Can they do it? We're going to talk about it coming up next on the prowl. On the prowl, ladies and gentlemen, listen, 5-star athlete out of Lilburn, Georgia, 2024 recruit, Mike Matthews, 6'5", 180 pounds. Like I said, 5-star athlete, right? And what's crazy is looks like he's a consensus 5-star, number 13th ranked in the nation per one.com from the looks of it. The 4th rated wide receiver and the 3rd rated prospect out of the state of Georgia. Rivals has him as the number 1 receiver, the number 1 recruit out of Georgia. So it's a little variance, but still, and he's so highly sought after, right? Because right now, Tennessee, he has offers from Tennessee, your Clemson Tigers, the Georgia Bulldogs, and the USC Trojans. And per one.com's recruiting prediction machine, Tennessee has the lead with a 78% chance to land Mike Matthews, and Clemson's second with a 7.8% chance. So again, you're telling me there's a chance that they can close that gap. And when you look at just his personal life, his bio, he's earned all region, all county, and all state honors in 2022 after catching 48 passes for 1,031 yards and 10 touchdowns. He also started on defense with 23 tackles, 2 interceptions, as well as a successful basketball player. I watched his basketball highlights. Yeah, he can hoop. A successful basketball player and juggles both football and basketball at the high school level. Prides himself on his work ethic. Per his quote, "I want people to know you can always count on me," Matthews said. "I want to be one of those guys to be known for that rather than just being one of those 5-star guys. I don't really take breaks. Even during the week after practice, I'm always working and making extra effort. I'm about effort and extra work." Let me tell you, if that's not a Dabo Swinney special right there, if that's not a Dabo Swinney player, that's what you want. That's that type of thing. One.com has a pro player comp to Rashad Bateman from the Baltimore Ravens. He played at the University of Minnesota, and just looking at the scouting report, 2-way playmaker with elite ball skills who blossomed into one of the top wide receiver prospects in the 2024 cycle. Measured at 6 foot and a half, 185 pounds, with a 6'6" wingspan. Prior to his junior season, lines up at both wide receiver and safety for Parkview High. Pairs that length with advanced coordination and hands to result in a considerable catch radius. Catches the ball away from his body, has shown the ability to win in the contested situations on Friday nights and then 7-on-7 settings. A bouncy athlete who doubles as a standout basketball player in high school and on the AAU circuit. Still developing as a route runner, but is showing progress as a junior. One of the top overall prospects from the state of Georgia, regardless of the class. So yes, when you think about what he can bring to the table, versatility, right, and athleticism, ball skills, but the work ethic. And I'm gonna tell you something, guys. As you know, you listen to the first segment talk with Andrew Mukuba, star safety from Clemson. The biggest thing is Dabo wants you to work. If you're not gonna give any effort, that's how you get on this bad side, right? You're not going to classes, you're not giving the effort, you're not working hard, you're not pushing yourself. That's how you get on Dabo's bad side. So the race for Mike Matthews is on, and Tennessee might have the lead. But again, this is the 400. Maybe we're only at the first 200 that's been cleared. So we got another 100, and then the straightaway, right? And hopefully Clemson can close the gap on that third 100, that turn, and then take the lead on the straightaway for the home stretch. But it sounds like Mike Matthews, not just his skill set, but the human being, the person, the young man, not the kid, not the boy, not the child, none of that, not the high school, the young man. Sounds like he will be a great addition to this team and be able to lead by example, work hard. His work ethic would be infectious for someone that might just, hey, man, I don't know if I want to put the work in, and I don't know if I want to work out today. Mike seems like the type of young man who's like, listen, well, I'm going to work out. You let me know what you want to do. If you want to go, let's roll. If you don't, it's cool. But if you want to get better, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to the facility. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And that right there in itself is things that you look for and things that you really appreciate. You absolutely appreciate in a young player, man. So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the race for Mike Matthews. But I think that I would love to see this young man land in Death Valley, the real Death Valley. Shout out to my guy, Mr. LSU himself, my co-host of Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, Keith Sanchez, 2019 LSU champion. We always go back and forth about who's the real Tigers, who are the real Death Valley between LSU and Clemson. We all know it's Clemson. So, guys, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me and Andrew Mukuba. Shout out to Andrew Mukuba, man. Great guy. Definitely planning on having him back on again and getting to know this young man even more so off the field, guys. But like I said, that's our show. We talked the race of five-star recruit Mike Matthews. Is a stock up for Travis Etienne. Then we opened the show with one of the star safeties from your Clemson Tigers, Andrew Mukuba, for a great and lengthy sit down and chat, talking, kids, football, song, pregame songs, Coach Davo, all of it, man. So we appreciate you guys tapping in, all the love as always. You know what I tell you, go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to the podcast to get the latest episode as soon as it's available. Apple Podcast, Spotify. Subscribe, download, and share, and leave a 5-star review. I appreciate all the love if you do so. Guys, we're on tomorrow's show. We're going to get back into some more checking the tape. I'm going to talk about Jeremiah Trotter Jr., man, and what I see with his game. I already talked about Barrett Carter, and I spoke so highly of him. So now I'm going to get a chance to really tap into the preseason All-American that is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. And is the bloodline, is it thick? Is that bloodline running thick from him to his father in terms of playing the linebacker position? We're going to talk about it on tomorrow's show. But guys, as always, in terms of Twitter, you can find and follow me there at DP_NFL. Talk to me because I talk back, and I appreciate all the love and support as always for y'all making Locked On Clemson your first listen today and every day, for being my everydayers and my number ones. I appreciate y'all. As always, come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Clemson podcast, Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.